Good morning, traders. It's Thursday, February the 20th. Taking a look at the charts, we got the SP 500. Yesterday, we had a nice pop in the equities markets, pushing up to some new multi-year highs. Tagged it briefly, and then started to pull back a little bit. Overall, still a positive session for stocks. Obviously, yesterday we saw a lot of money moving into the precious metals, and really the only real dormant asset class yesterday was bonds. Bonds pretty much opened and closed on a flat session, but today we're starting to see some money move into those. This nice little formation here looks like it's starting to break out. If we look at just this price action here, we got this short, you could argue it's a little pennant formation, and we're starting to break to the upside. We've broken this high, and now we're starting to push higher. Of course, if we break this high here, we'll be off to the races, I think, for another leg higher. We had a nice move here. Total move here was about 5.5%, 6%, and I think from where the bottom here is to the upside, it'll be 5.5%, 6%. But of course, we're already up a couple percent. So this breakout point here from where we are, I think we could see potentially another 3% pop and run in the price of bonds. And we are long bonds, and hopefully we'll see this breakout and start to extend higher. Now we have been seeing a lot of money rotate into the safe havens. Bonds have been holding up and moving higher. Utilities have been on fire with money moving into these safe havens. And of course, we've been seeing gold, silver. They've all been holding up and moving higher. Gold really pushing up again today, breaking this high that we saw back over here last beginning of January. And now we're starting to break that level today. So we'll see if it can hold for the week. This spike high over here where price got slammed, we got close, pushed up to that area, got slammed again. Now we're showing some muscle. We're actually holding up there yesterday, and today we're pushing higher. We'll see what kind of follow through we get, if we get some type of blow off pop or move and extension, or if it's going to start to reverse. Overall, the close on Friday will be really critical to see where the market actually holds up by the closing bell and what people are comfortable with the price of gold going over the weekend. Looking over at silver, up 0.2%. Again, it's testing these highs. This high over here, these three big candle days over here, we had this big squeeze on news on metals. Overall, again, the metals are moving up, and gold miners are leading the way, breaking to the upside. This is a pretty big pattern. If we just look at the price action here, you can see we had a huge bull flag, and it came back up, made another bull flag, and it's moving higher. And if we were to just look at the price action, let's just squeeze it all in here. If we look at the price action, which is from this low to this high down to these lows, it gives us a Fibonacci price target, two price targets. We always look at the 618. That's the first level where price should pop. If it pauses or consolidates there for a day or two, almost all the time, most of the time we'll see it hit the 100% measured move. So we're set to hit this level pretty quick here. And if we see a pause or pullback, I think we'll be primed and ready for another push to the upside. I know a lot of people are watching gold miners for a move to the upside. And I think once the general masses get in, we're going to see that huge move. But what's interesting is there aren't that many people in the metals sector. Everyone is still in the marijuana stocks. And if you look at the Robinhood accounts, there really just is zero interest in the gold miners. Everyone is into the pot stocks. And of course, they've been going down, and that's what happens when the masses are into something. They're usually in a bear market, and they're getting slaughtered. So overall, there's a lot of energy built up, and the gold miners are starting to break out, and the masses won't catch on until we really start to break higher with the gold miners, and it starts to catch everyone's attention. Then all the marijuana money will probably move out of the marijuana stocks and pile into the precious metal stocks. Taking a look over at energies, natural gas relatively flat on this session. If you look at the price action, we are testing the 20-day moving average right through these highs here. You can see we're testing this price range. Overall, it broke an internal high, it broke an external high, and it broke these highs, or it's testing these highs. So overall, it's had a very nice impulse wave to the upside. It's having its first pause. It's now clearly above the 5-day moving average, which is stepping its way up. Typically, we'll see price stick under the 5-day or if it's in an uptrend, it'll stay above the 5-day. So overall, this consolidation here is a bullish consolidation. We may get long natural gas for a continuation move to the upside because there's a lot of potential for this to pop. Very similar to what came over here. You get a pop, you get a consolidation, and then you see the follow through. Over here, we saw the bottom start to form. We had a pop and a pullback, and then we had follow through. So here we are again with the early side of what looks to be a basing formation. Now we got the pop, and now we're looking for the pause and pullback, and I think we could see it take off to the upside going forward. Looking over at crude oil, up 1/3% this morning. We are getting towards its first short-term resistance area. It had a nice pop yesterday. If we look at the charts here, you can see we've got this price range right through here. This was the lower box, so whichever way it breaks, the distance from here to here is going to be the distance that we're going to see it move very quickly. So that brings us up to roughly the 20-day moving average, or this blue line here. Overall, it is going to be trading pretty darn close. Pretty much half the move happened in one day. There's some room for it to continue to go higher. We'll see how it handles the 20-day moving average when it gets there. Overall, the major trend is still down, and this is kind of a double bounce here, a little W formation. We're coming up to the first levels of resistance, and we'll see what happens as it gets here. We're not long crude. We're going to let it continue to do its thing, and we'll see how it handles the 20-day and this resistance area on the chart. It's also this resistance area here where we saw the price sell off, had a little bit of a hiccup, and then continued to go down. So there's multiple resistance levels all within about $1 here. So it's a tight squeeze to try and get anything out of here at this point. Last but not least, the US dollar. This is the UUP ETF, which somewhat mimics the US dollar index. Overall, the dollar is up big again today. We're trading somewhere up in this area up here. We're trading, so it's going to be another big pop in price. And considering the dollar keeps rocketing higher, we're seeing metals continue to move higher with it as well. It's just a global flock of money. Globally, I think a lot of people are concerned about their own currencies, their own equities, and they just keep moving their money into the US dollar index. They're buying physical gold, and they're moving into US equities. It's where seems to be the best return is. It's the biggest market, so it's liquid, and it's just a big melt up. Everything US based is in a rising mode. And we are long bonds. We're long. Obviously, we hold our accounts in US dollars, so we are long the dollar. We're long equities, and we're long miners. And we're on it for the ride and looking for some new setups. Potentially, natural gas could be the next one that could really pop and move higher. Anyways, that's it for this morning. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.